Hi everyone, my name is Allison. I'm a junior studying political science here at the College of LAS at the University of Illinois. And today I have a conversation with Dr. Livny and her expertise on politics. I hope you enjoy today's conversation. Hi, Professor Livny.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me in this conversation today.
I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, so the first question is, what do you teach and how long have you been at U of I?
Yeah, so I teach political science, mostly comparative politics, identity politics, and politics of the Middle East. Oh, and I've been here for 6.5 years.
6.5 years?
Yes.
What is your research expertise?
It's pretty much what I teach. So most of my research is about identity politics, how ethnic and religious identities become the basis for political movements. I do most of that research in Turkey and the Middle East. But because identity is something that's kind of hard to observe from the outside, I've increasingly been studying questions about measurement. How do we capture variation in the intensity of identity or identity-based politics around the world?
So what do you find most interesting about political science as a field of study?
I mean, what's not to love, right? It's clearly something that's super relevant to us here at home, to the world around us. But I think beyond just being interesting and important, hidden within political science are a lot of really important tools for understanding the world around us, variation in the world, what justice and injustice looks like, and then also tools that help us to identify what are solutions to helping improve the world around us that I think sometimes that people don't appreciate from the outside about political science.
I also feel like it really sharpens your critical thinking skills as well. Like me being a political science major, I feel like my critical thinking skills have really improved.
Yes, so that's exactly what I mean. So we try to teach ourselves and our students how to think critically about the world around them and increasingly harness like quantitative data skills to understand variation in the world and then also to evaluate potential solutions to problems of injustice around the world.
Which leads into my next question, which is, with everything going on in the world, why political science and why is it so important to you right now?
I mean, again, why not? It's an easy answer, I think an easy question to answer because it seems so relevant. But I think, like I said, beyond that, it's those additional skills, those critical learning skills, those analytical skills that help us identify the ways that we can have a positive impact in the world, to think critically about what we see, whether we're actually seeing the world as it is, and then when we figure out how we want to have an impact, the best way to do that. I think that that's really empowering.
What is your favorite aspect of political science to teach to incoming students?
I mean, it sounds kind of boring on the face of it, but I really love teaching my students the power of data, which is, again, a way to understand the world around us, to see it sort of with a more objective lens once we think about how the data are created. And then once we understand the power of data to see variation in the world, the power of data also to help us evaluate potential solutions to these problems in the world. So data can help us understand variation in poverty around the world, and then also the best interventions to help poor people get on a better footing. They come in a little scared when I talk about data and I talk about potentially learning about statistics, but I always promise them that it won't be painful and that they'll learn tools that will be helpful like beyond my classroom. And every piece of feedback I've ever gotten is that I follow through on those promises. So
yeah, especially at a research university, it's very important to learn statistics and how data works and how to analyze it.
Yeah, even if you're not going to take a statistics class, which I do not require in any way, I think becoming literate in data is really important, especially at a campus like ours. It brings political science and LAS into conversation with things happening on the north side of campus.
Okay, so what is a project that you're currently working on right now that you're excited about?
My number one thing, both in terms of research, but also integrates my teaching, is my project on updating measures of diversity around the world, so that we can kind of bring different data sources together and use machine learning algorithms to update how diverse we think different countries are. It's like the highlight of everything I'm doing right now, both research and teaching, because my students get to get involved with it. And so right now I have about 20 students working with me. It's been a program that I've been building for 5 years. I love it. I'm passionate about figuring out what diversity is and how it matters, and then getting my students involved in that research.
That's really important because I feel like a lot of political science students are very passionate about diversity, and it's kind of like a hands-on experiment to have students be involved in it, so that's great.
Exactly. So I tell them all about, in classroom, I tell them all about why data matters, and then in this hands-on opportunity, they get to learn how data sets are built, right? And how we can improve upon our existing data sets. They get really into it. It's exciting to see their level of excitement.
All right, so we got some rapid fire questions for you.
I'm ready.
So my first one is one piece of advice that you would give to your 18-year-old self.
I mean, immediately I want to think about like improving my fashion sense, but I'm going to go ahead and be a little more practical and say that I should have listened to my dad, who's a computer scientist, and taken a coding class. Don't let him see this video, okay?
What is the best book you've read recently?
Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. Excellent book.
Favorite place to eat on campus?
The Red Herring for vegetarian and vegan food. Amazing.
Sounds great.
I know. I'm going to take you if you haven't been.
We have to go. Describe U of I in 3 words.
So the number one thing I always say about my students is that y'all are smart. Smart. And I don't just mean like book smart. I mean, you just think really critically about the world around you, and I really appreciate that. There is a level of like excitement, which I really like, that is about athletics, but it's also just about your approach to scholarly life, which I think is a nice balance, that smartness. It keeps the enthusiasm level high. And then, I mean, I've certainly felt this in my 6.5 years here. It's like a very welcoming environment. And I think there's enough diversity around campus that everybody finds their little community. And then I think that there's a structure that knits all those little communities together. That's pretty nice.
Coffee or tea, and where do you get it on campus?
At home, tea, but on campus, coffee from Cafe Kopi at the Business Instructional Facility. The only place to go.
What is your favorite U of I memory?
Dinners with my research interns. We, at the end of every year, get together to celebrate sort of everything that we've accomplished over the year. And during COVID, it was tacos in my backyard playing cornhole. It was just good times.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to watch all of the other videos on the LAS YouTube page.